right. Okay, folks. Everything Harmony. I'm picking this month by the Lemon Twigs. I don't know. They've had maybe like 4 albums, something like that. They've been around a while. They're two brothers, the D'Addario brothers, I think they're called. That's their last name, I think. I think their dad was like a session musician back in like the 60s and 70s. So they come from like a musical background and they're young kids, getting into that kind of rock and roll um kind of sound, and you can obviously hear that it's, they're taking huge influence from that. Anyway, I've never been like I've seen the Lemon Twigs live a bunch of times, and live Lemon Twigs is like unbelievably awesome. It's like some of the best shows I've ever been to. Just the energy, they're running around on stage and they're just like can play these complex things while just doing crazy stuff, and it's awesome. Um, but I don't know, for some reason, like whenever like I listen to the records, didn't connect with me as much. But I think this album specifically, I think has been a huge step for them. Um, Especially they definitely have been focusing on their vocal arrangements. Um, this album basically, it's like a Simon and Garfunkel almost album mixed with like a Beach Boys kind of album. Like somehow um it's very moody too. It's not like there aren't like some of the songs are kind of more upbeat, but there's a lot of like very soft kind of ballads throughout this whole thing. So I guess it's not like some of their other albums where it's more like kind of rocking, but it's definitely its own kind of theme throughout the whole record, which I really liked. It's definitely a mood. I don't listen to it like all the time, but it's definitely kind of a chill kind of album. And yeah, just the vocals are insane. I can't get over it sometimes. Just the way it's recorded, and it's like transports you back to the 70s. So I'm loving it. Great stuff. What do you guys have to say?
Yeah, I love the Lemon Twigs. I remember one of my earliest memories with you, Matt, was you took me to a Lemon Twigs show, and I had never heard of them before. And we went, and it was awesome. They rocked the house. I think it was at the Metro, right? And
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
they brought the house down. It was awesome. They were wearing like leather pants and stuff. Going to see this band is like see it's like watching the Rolling Stones. They like bring that same kind of energy, that like classic rock vibe and like rock and guitar solos and super fun. Um, and then yeah, and then you would say I remember like walking out of that show being like, oh my God, that was amazing. Like, oh, I want to listen to them all the time. And you were like, yeah, be careful. Like their albums are not like they are live. They're really slow. I was like, oh, okay. And then I listened to it and I was like, yeah, this sounds like a completely different band. Um, but I still love them. I love this album. I agree. I think it's their best so far. It's really complete. If they're the Rolling Stones live, then like this album, they like turn into the Beach Boys. I would say that was the thought that like kept going through my head listening to this album.
Mhm.
But the arrangements are really good. It's just really good, just soft rock, just like really easy listening. Um, Great to turn on like a Sunday when you're driving or something during and it's sunny outside. Um, yeah, I really liked it. This album, I feel like the Lemon Twigs are starting to kind of blow up a little bit. Like people are starting to know who they are, and
Definitely.
um,
Like, this album really
they're
took off, honestly.
yeah. So yeah, good stuff. This is one of my favorite albums I think from last year. I had it on my list. I'm like, damn, it's good
It,
stuff.
it didn't make my top 10. But kind of looking at it now, I feel like maybe it would. I don't it's not like my top 5 for me of last year, but I feel like it's so like unique sounding, and like not a lot of albums nowadays sound like this. So
Yeah,
it feels like a really cool achievement for them to come out with an album like this. That's kind of why I wanted to talk about it. So, you know.
yeah, totally.
I thought this when I first listened to this album, I thought it was pretty good. Yeah, I listened to it a couple times a couple weeks ago, and I was like, yeah, this is like a cool, 60s throwback kind of psychedelic rock album with some folk, elements. And there's just State Park, which is where I was talking about buying a kayak. It's about 5 minutes down the road from this new apartment. So, this morning I was like, you know what? I'm gonna take an edible. I'm gonna go for a 2-hour hike. And I'm gonna listen to some music. And this is one of the albums I listened to, and I was legitimately blown away. I don't know if it was the edible or the setting or what it was, but
That's the
a lot of
perfect
these songs
place.
like really took me. The first track is completely different from the rest. It sounds like a Simon and Garfunkel track. It sounds like a Bob Dylan track. It's that folk that's like punctuated with these like in a couple places like really like surprising electric guitars that take you aback. You're like, wow, where did that come from? Every day is the worst day of my life, kind of funnily enough. That harkens back to my song, "My Life Is the Worst Life Ever."
Yeah.
But no, it's also, I mean, it's repetitive, of course, but it's a very emotional, folk song. And then what happens to a heart is like, wow, like that.
Mm.
After that, it surprised me how just much it took me into it. I've really liked a lot. It's funny that you say his dad is a session musician from the '60s because they have session. I mean, obviously they're not playing the mandolin or the horn or the strings, but the people that they bring in, and the production for those session musicians in Born to Be Lonely, there's like really '60s sounding like strings that like could have been like ripped straight out of sampled from like a Beatles or Beach Boys or any other like mid to late '60s psychedelic rock band. Um let's see, let me look at my notes. I don't know. I had a really excellent experience with this album this morning, and it made me really appreciate it a lot more. And I think that's kind of the headspace that you need to be in um, to really get this album. It's a psychedelic rock album. It's a throwback '60s album. Um, and I feel like, if I were to tell my mom, like, hey, there's this cool band from the '60s, '70s, you should check them out. My mom would really like this album because this is up her alley. It's definitely up my alley. Um, I don't know. I liked it a lot. It was really fun. It was really great.
Yeah. I feel like I
It
had
gave
the
me a
same.
really excellent morning too.
Yeah. I feel like I had the same experience. Like it definitely grew on me. I think it didn't hit me at first too. I think it's just I slowly started to like appreciate like what was so good about it. Just like there's a lot of throwback kind of '60s albums, but this one I feel like hits it in a different way, and I feel like
Mhm.
it feels
They
special.
have such like their own unique spin on it. They feel like sufficiently modern enough to not be like Greta Van Fleet, right? They they're a modern band that takes a lot of influence from that era, which I think is different than just being a throwback band.
Hmm.
Sorry, I don't mean to just interrupt you.
No, yeah, you just added what I had to say. Yeah, definitely, man. Cool. Yeah, I think I don't know. I'll probably give it like an 8. Um yeah, I don't know. Maybe higher. I don't know. Maybe it'll grow on me more. But no, it's just like a really pleasant, nice listen, and it feels like it's an achievement. So I felt like I had to talk about it, you know. Thanks for watching that video. If you want to watch more of us talk about music, check us out. We got a lot of awesome videos for you to listen to. And like and subscribe. It really helps out the channel. And let us know what you thought of this video down in the comments below. We're always chatting with people who have an opinion, and we love it. So, see ya.